Hey, sports and drafts fans! It's Sunday morning, 9 a.m. somewhere. It's 9 a.m. here, and it's 9 a.m. where Dave is. Dave is actually on location, doing a little sports scouting for us this week. Yeah, I wish. But he's got a fun day planned today. What's going on with you, Dave?
Well,
Where
I'm
are you?
in Las Vegas. I don't know if you can see behind me, everybody, but we got, Paris, Planet Hollywood, Bellagio fountains I can see from here, Caesars, Bally's, all those places. I'm staying at the Alara because today me and my buddy from Washington, Robert, who's normally one of the viewers of the show that chimes in and um, participates, but going to see not the Huskies, but Sue Bird, who played for the Connecticut Huskies in college, going to go see her last regular season game of her
Ah, it's
career
fun.
in the WNBA against the Las Vegas Aces here. And then we might cruise over and catch the second half, maybe tailgate at the Raiders Vikings preseason game that's going on today at 1 o'clock. So we might be
Oh,
able to
that'll be
catch
fun.
the second half of that, maybe tailgating or something. So go to a Raider bar or something like that here. I don't know, and catch the second half of that.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Um, Super. So last game, and I don't know where I was going to go with that. Sorry, it's still early for me. But have a great time. Looks like it'll be a good sports filled day, and I'm sure, as always with the sports filled day, there's usually a brew that's associated with having a good time in Vegas. So, what is your brew selection for the show today, Dave?
Yeah, I kind of got a Vegas theme, James Bond is Casino Royale. I have this Ballast Point Brewing 5% hoppy pale ale called Pale Royale. And you can see that I got a skeleton car dealer there. Um, so nice San Diego made beer. Ballast Point, very big down there. So that's my beer of the day today. This is Pale Royale.
Ah, very, very fitting. Very fitting. So mine today is since again, as I shared last week, I'm keeping with the Hawaiian brew theme since we will be in Hawaii here in 9 days and counting, 10 days, 9 days, and so this week, kind of a staple, has been around our house a while, is the Longboard Island Lager from Kona Brewing Company in Hawaii, and you got the bottles got the islands all in there, but it's a nice, easy drinking 4.6 ABV, and so you can enjoy a few of them by the ocean, by the pool, wherever you are in the heat and the sun. But I've always liked the island lager, and also it just happened to be that I actually have a set of the Kona Brewing glasses, and this one specifically for the island lager. I'm gonna get that in front of my face so the camera will change focus. So, yeah, no, I always enjoy the Kona Brewing, and I enjoy doing the show, man. So let's talk a little bit of football, and and so, oh, hey, Joy, thanks for joining the show. So, what do you think about the Steelers' new quarterback Pickett? And actually, we're going to get to that. We're going to talk a little bit of quarterbacks, and we're going to talk a little bit of preseason, week one. And aloha, thank you. We are looking forward to it. Hey, good morning, Kim. I hope you're feeling a lot better this week. Good to see you on the show. And so we got just a few little things. We wanted to talk a couple quarterback stories. So just as we're getting through training camp and everything, we've got so Tom Brady has taken now his second leave. This one's a little bit longer from training camp, and the media is making a big deal. I mean, the media is all over the place. Nobody knows. This is like the best kept secret. I mean, so far in the league as to why he's had to step away from training camp, and you've got guys that are like, hey, yeah, it's just a planned thing, it's just a family, whatever. It was pre-planned. No worries, he'll be back before week one. You got other guys, even interview from the team players, like, well, it must be pretty serious. We'll just maintain his privacy, respect his family and everything. Hopefully, he's back soon. I've done all the sleuthing I can, and I can't figure anything out. I figure if he's on vacation somewhere, pre-planned trip or something, then the media is all over this. They got reporters and photographers and I'm sure just sleeping on his doorstep trying to get some sort of picture or video so they can be the first to break the story of hey, Tom Brady need to take this time off to mow his lawn, kind of thing. And here's a picture and a video. So I don't know. Have you heard anything different? Have any thoughts on this? Any?
Not
go
at
ahead.
all I've heard was, it doesn't sound like it was anything negative, like anyone was ill in the family or any sort of emergency like that. It sounded like it was something he had on his schedule, maybe a family thing, before he even came back out of retirement, that he had talked to the Buccaneers about when he decided to come back and said, hey, I'm coming back, but I'm probably going to miss a lot of preseason because I already had these things locked down. I don't know. And, being the GOAT, you obviously get preferential treatment. I don't know how many other players in the league could do this or be allowed to do this, but I mean, maybe a few, maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe, I don't know, because he's a multiple time MVP. I don't, but I mean, he's losing reps, but I mean, he knows where to put the ball. He knows the offense. He knows how to read the defense. I mean, all he's missing is timing, really, and kind of that camaraderie with your team, being the leader, being there and being able to see who's doing what in the preseason, especially younger new guys you're going to have to work with, things like that. But he's the GOAT, so I guess he kind of gets to do whatever he wants. And I mean, if it was something he had set up with his wife before that, he's kind of got an out where it's like, hey, maybe other than Russell Wilson in the league, like, do you know who my wife is? Like,
right.
I'm not pissing her off. So yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fine. It is kind of a different story we haven't really seen before, where a veteran guy just gets to miss all of preseason to hang out with his family instead of be with the team. And I'm sure not every player is like, oh yeah, good for Tom. Tom's fine. I mean, I'm sure they would like to not have to be there also if they're a veteran and feel like they could play without having to hang out during the preseason or whatever. But when you're the best ever, I guess you get preferential treatment.
Yeah, I really don't care that he's missing. I do. I mean, you don't want to be taking, going through training camp, taking reps with your first team without your quarterback. I mean, there's timing there. There's going to be new players on the line, new players, receivers, everything. I mean, there has to be some sort of development of those younger players, and so. Just it could potentially lead to some week 1 and maybe week 2 timing issues and here or there. And you would have hoped that if this is just something, oh yeah, we had this family thing, when I retired, we made these plans, I put down a deposit. I can't get that deposit back if we don't do this. So coach, I need a couple weeks off, kind of thing. I'm not going to buy that part. I think it's something that was like, hey, this was timed, planned, whether it was, some, I don't want to speculate, but whatever it is, it's if it's just a, hey, we want to hang out together, you could have done that in the summer. And before training camp and, all of those, all kinds of plans are, can be rescheduled. So I think it's something a little bit, more concrete and in there, and maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. So, but I think the Buccaneers will be just fine with him and, getting back whenever he gets back. And, he's got some old man legs too. So, don't want to wear him out in preseason and say, those 4 weeks, if we didn't have to have him run every day, he'd have fresh legs anyway. Not like he's our age, right?
Yeah. Well, he is our age. He's my age.
Oh, Oh, that's right. You're a bit younger than I am. Um, all right. So hey, and then one other thing is we've got Deshaun Watson. You know, this. You know, unfortunately, we still have to watch this train wreck. Um, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to share. Sorry. We got this going on in Cleveland. He has his first preseason game. Goes 1 for 5 for 7 yards. I did watch a little bit of this and some of the passes. His first one from scrimmage was just atrocious, and he basically split the receivers on two slants and outs, and but Schwartz, I think it was the receiver, next one on a little short slant. Just literally went through his hands. So, I mean, can't blame that one on him. But, I mean, obviously this guy's going to be missing real football time. So any live action they can get him into in preseason, I guess would be helpful. But I just think as a coach in an organization, I am going to have the time that this guy is in there, because I've just paid $230 million guaranteed. The time this guy's in there, for the little bit the fans will get to see him, every single play is going to be scripted and is going to have the highest chance of success. And I'm not throwing the ball. I'm not putting it up there for a receiver to maybe get it and miss them. I mean, I'm hitting the second play from scrimmage. He hit Schwartzel on a short little slant, and it just went through his hand. I mean, the guy should have caught it. And so that's not him. But you want to be able to come back and say the receivers dropped every single pass he put in the basket. Right now though, Cleveland, all the Cleveland media, every organization out there is saying, "Hey, this guy sucked," and he threw for 7 yards in 3 series and couldn't even keep 3 series going long, and so got booed quite a bit there in Jacksonville, but it's you're on and whatnot. So probably not the best look for a guy you just banked your entire franchise on. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough start playing. I think the most concerning thing for me about him recently was, the commissioner of the NFL came out and said, based on the evidence that he has apparently seen or has for him to review, he believes that the suspension should be more. So it's like, well, what's that evidence? Is there video of him? Is he guilty? Of these things that he's seen to pay off? And I don't know. I feel like, and then he came out, Deshaun did, and made an apology this week to all the women he may have hurt. Well, I don't know about you, but unless it's like some small battle argument with my wife that I just want to be over and let her win, I don't apologize for anything I didn't do. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you apologize for something you didn't do? Just like we were talking like a week ago, why would you pay a woman, if you're Vince McMahon, $3.5 million if you didn't do something? I wouldn't pay somebody money for something I didn't do. I wouldn't apologize to a bunch of people if I don't have anything to apologize for, because to me, that's just admitting guilt when this whole time you've been saying you're not guilty. So I don't understand that strategy. So it just looks terrible for Deshaun Watson. It looks terrible for the NFL. It looks terrible for the Browns. Just not a great situation for anybody involved. And then on top of that, he comes out and can't complete passes to his teammates the first game. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on with this guy. See if he does get, the suspension upped to the whole season, or 10 games or whatever. But it's not a good look. Not a good look for anybody involved.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. So right now it's 6 games. NFL's looking to make it indefinite, or for a year at least. And, which to me is like, okay, so you've got an arbitrator, they said 6 months, and to have the league come back and say, no, we want more. whether the guy deserves more or not, that's just a weird optic for me. I mean, it's probably it's the correct optic, I guess, but you already had somebody that's made a decision on it, and so appealing that decision, that's unusual for the NFL to really go out and look for that longer, especially when again, I'm not supporting this guy in any way, but you almost just want to get this behind you if you're the NFL and not keep it lingering through the season. And I mean, I understand and support where the NFL is going. It's just that, here we are in training, training camp, preseason football, and you're trying to get someone, you're dragging a bad, ugly story on longer. And rather than, we're sitting here talking about it, and we should be talking about other things related to, what's happening on the field so far, and these young players, that have been drafted, how are they been doing? So just, the NFL, there was a punishment, that was set and decided upon. The NFL could have just let it ride with the 6, and then learn, lick their wounds and try harder next time. But again, I support what they're trying to do. Maybe if this had all kind of been settled earlier in the year and they were trying to fight this in the summer, absolutely, so that it was, resolved before training camp started. But so anyway, before we get into, we're going to do our AFC picks today and get that on record for Dave and I, and so I can take an early lead in the season. No, we're not doing game picks. So we did see week 1. So we actually did see some football this week. So what was your thoughts of watching games this week?
I was really impressed by all of the Steelers quarterbacks. They were all very efficient, played well. So, Trubisky, Rudolph, their rookie Pickett from Pittsburgh had 2 touchdown passes, and he finished the game. They won a very close game against the Seahawks. And it was just, if you're a coach, if you're Mike Tomlin, you have to be very happy with that, because there was a lot of questions about your quarterbacks coming into the season. And, it is only a preseason game, but all 3 of them played, all 3 of them executed. All 3 of them had at least 1 touchdown pass. They had 4. Each guy had, at least 1. Pickett had 2. So I thought that was a big positive for Pittsburgh, especially when you're playing in that division they're in. You got the Ravens, who could be pretty good this year. The Bengals are, coming back from being the AFC champions in your division. So you need to have that good quarterback play. So that was good to see for the Steelers. That rookie Willis that they got for Tennessee Titans, he looked very athletic. He threw a touchdown pass in his first NFL action for Tennessee. He looked pretty good. So that had to be a positive for them. Other than that, Trey Lance for my 49ers looked good. So did our defense. We got some turnovers during our preseason game against the Packers. So I was happy about that personally. But yeah, so far those are kind of some of the things, the highlights that I saw so far this week. And then we'll see that Raider-Viking game later today. I think that's the only game today, preseason game. So.
Yeah, as Candy said, she won't be able to say it much again, but the Giants won. And also want to give a shout out to Jim and Cindy watching the show this morning. Thanks for joining us. And so this week we're gonna kind of break down over the next few weeks our picks. And so today we're going to focus on the AFC. Next week we'll take a look at the NFC. We'll make our picks, our division picks, and then the week after we will choose our division winners, or we'll do our playoff winners and Super Bowl pick for the season before we get into week 1. And next week, no, I'll be here next week. The week after I will be in, so I guess playoff picks will come from Hawaii. So sorry, I've got that on my mind. I'm already starting to really pack. I'm already packed in my head and I'm out. I realized I downloaded this really nice graphic of the AFC with all the logos and everything, and then realized that I didn't. StreamYard, the software we use, wanted me to allow permission, and to do that, I had to restart Chrome, which would have shut down my broadcast. So for me, at least. I sat here real quick and created some banners, and let's get those up there. So let's look at the AFC North first. And so we got the Ravens, the Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. So I'm gonna get my notes open so I can write this down. So who do you got to pick out of the AFC North this year winning this division?
I got to go with the Bengals repeating again, I think, just because I don't know, I'm not confident with the Steelers on, even though their quarterbacks play good in preseason, like I just said, I don't know the whole season how that's going to go. The Browns are a mess with what we just talked about with Deshaun Watson. The Ravens are kind of up and down. I would say the Ravens are the next team I would pick just because they have good coaching there. Lamar Jackson has shown that he can play very well. He's also in a contract year. So a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of players in general, when they're in a contract year, have really good years because they're trying to get that new bag of money, either with their team or with another team. So that might be something to watch. But I think the Bengals, as long as Burrows can stay healthy, they're so talented on offense. I just think it's going to be hard for teams to score with them. They have a good running back in Joe Mixon. They have, like I said, great young receivers there. When Burrow's hot, they're hot, and they score a lot of points. The defense is solid enough, and, they did make it to the Super Bowl last year. So I think they might be able to ride that wave of, energy and momentum just because they are a young team. They kept basically their nucleus there. They still have the same team. So I don't know why they wouldn't be able to repeat. So I'm going to take the Bengals for the North.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And if you're watching the show either now, live right now, or if you're watching the replay later this week, put in the comments who you think's going to win, who you've got as a pick for winning each division, and we'll beat you up for your picks later. No, I'm kidding. No, just who do you think? If you agree with this, if you don't, but I'm with you. I took the Bengals also. My order goes Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. And just because, Mike Tomlin, hasn't had a losing season, I think it is. And I think the Browns will. So, there's just too much of a crap show there in Cleveland right now. And with no certainty of their future this year. So I don't know how, as a team, you rally around an unknown, or just an unknown season, and what the plan is, because that the coaching staff is brought in for a certain, they're building around a certain person, and that person isn't going to be there, and so you have to change your entire scheme to build around another quarterback or another, that obviously isn't as strong. Otherwise, that guy would be your guy that you're building around, right? So you're already admitting to not being the organization that you want to be because your guy isn't there. So, so I took the Bengals as well. So what about the AFC East? Let's look at the AFC East. So the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and the Jets. I'll go first on this one. I took the Bills to win this division. I think they're still the strongest team in this division. If I had to pick an order, I'd probably take the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. And so that's what I got there for no other reason that the Bills played well last year. I thought the Bills should have went further. They were, I think they beat themselves and in the playoffs, and probably should have been there rather than the Bengals. But that's how football. That's why they play it every Sunday.
Yeah, I have the same list as you do. I have the same order. I'm taking the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, then the Jets. The Dolphins, it's really going to come down to, how well Tua plays. He got that new big weapon in Tyreek Hill to throw to. Let's see if he can get it to him and make some big plays. The Jets, Wilson already hurt himself in the first preseason game where he's going to be out like 4 weeks. He scrambled. It wasn't even a contact injury. Like, basically, he hurt his knee, non-contact injury, which is never good. Patriots are the Patriots. They're going to win some games. They just don't have as much talent as they used to. But they're, obviously they have the coaching still with Bill there and the system, so they'll do all right. But I think the Bills are one of the best teams probably in the NFL right now. So yeah, that's an easy pick for me to pick the Bills and take the East.
Yeah. So I'm gonna save the tough one for last. Okay. So AFC South, we have the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars. I flipped a coin this morning, and it came out to be the Colts. Not really. Most people would probably pick the Titans, just not a Titans fan any longer. I'm picking the Colts to win this, and I think because fresh quarterback, fresh look. They're not a horrible team on paper, let's say, and they can put things together. I think they can squeak this one out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the Colts too, but I'm kind of similar. The Titans should be close, but I give quarterback play. The Colts got veteran Matt Ryan now. He'll need to have some younger receivers step up for him. Maybe Pittman Jr. does. He'll need some targets to kind of help. They do have the best running back in the league as far as last year and Taylor. So, he can do a lot of play action, which will help those receivers probably get open, especially on short routes. He'll freeze the linebackers, freeze the safeties a little bit. But I'll take the Colts, and they have a good defense too. I feel like the Colts defense is better than the Titans defense. I'm not sold on the Jaguars. They have a new coach. They still have a very young team. They're just not gelled together yet. I think they'll be better, but they're not good yet. And then the Texans, same thing. I can't put my money on, Davis Mills leading the Texans in that roster to be the champions of the South. So yeah, I have the Colts. Colts up there with the Titans, pretty close behind.
Yeah, I think so. I have the Colts, Titans, Jags, Texans is my order, and just because I think the Jags have more talent than the Texans.
Yep.
And so on to what I think, honestly, could be the toughest division in the NFL this year. You look at it and it's like every one of these teams could potentially, win a playoff game. So then to back that up a week and say, okay, well, then who wins the division to get to the playoffs? I mean, you got wild cards, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I'm going to be, I don't know. Well, I know who I'm going to pick. I would pick the Chargers to win this division this year. And the Raiders just every year they do what they do. They win some games. They get their fans excited, and then it's over. The Chiefs, I think, may have played their best hands already, and the blinds are going up every year. If you're a poker player, and since you're in Vegas there, the blinds are going up. And if you don't have a lot of chip, if you don't have a large chip stack to, continue to play, it's just the more the rounds go, or like the years go in the NFL, other players are just going to bleed those chips off, from your stack. And then you're, watching from behind the rail. And so I think the Chiefs may have seen their best years right now. And then the Broncos, I'm just saying, they're just, new quarterback, great quarterback. But they weren't in the mix in the last few years, like the other three teams. And I just think that the Chargers have made fantastic moves this offseason on defense. And so I'm just, they're doing what they need to do to win. That's what I've seen from the Chargers, and that's why I picked them. Yeah,
I mean, I'm the same. I'm right with you. I think when they picked up Jackson at cornerback and they got Khalil Mack at outside linebacker to add to that defense, that's huge because they can score points. Eckler's a great running back. They got Williams. They have Allen at receiver. Herbert's just getting better and better. So to help that team with those defensive moves, I think was huge. My picks for the division are just, you can read the screen in front of you there, right to left. I mean, I'm going to take the Raiders next. Raiders were a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
And when you're a playoff team already and you add Devontae Adams, a talent like that, for them, it's really going to come down to their defense. I think the offense is going to be fine. That has a lot of stability to it. They have good running back. They have one of the better tight ends in the league. They have other guys at receiver that can make some plays here and there. So the offense is fine for the Raiders. It's going to be their defense that's going to win them games, really. And then, keep going down the line. The Chiefs still have Mahomes. You win with good quarterback play in the league. He's one of the best quarterbacks. And I think everything for the Broncos is just still a little bit new. They got some good young receivers, but they have a new quarterback. They got a lot going on with their running backs. They brought Gordon back. They have, a young guy and Williams kind of fighting for carries with Gordon. It's a whole different place for Russell to be and play and system. And I don't think he's the quarterback he once was. I don't think that offensive line it's a little bit better than Seattle, but it's still not an amazing offensive line, I don't think, in Denver. And I just think the other three teams that we just talked about they're just better overall, I think, than the Broncos right now.
Yeah.
Because also on defense, the Broncos lost a lot of studs that they had in the last few years aren't on the roster anymore. So who's going to step up for them on defense also? But yeah, so I definitely going with the Chargers, rooting for my boy Herbert. Maybe I'll get to catch a game. I only live, not even an hour and a half from the stadium. So maybe I'll try to get up there and see Herbert live once this year if I can. If I want to pay for the $100 parking that you have to do if you want to go to a game in Los Angeles, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, so next week we're going to dive into the NFC. I will actually be attending an NFC. Clicked the wrong thing there. I will actually be attending an NFC game next week. I will be going to the Arizona Cardinals and Baltimore Ravens preseason game next Sunday evening. So, bought part of a buddy's season tickets. So we'll be tailgating, and so I'll be posting some pictures and videos from our tailgate session and the game, but always a good time to be able to go to the game and hang out with friends and other fans and tailgate and stuff. So so I think, here we are. We were 100% in agreement on our division winners in the AFC, and being the Bengals, Colts, Bills, and Chargers, and so we'll see how that goes. So our picks are locked in. Again, if you are watching the show and replayed throughout the week, put in who you think it's going to win the AFC, and I was going to go back through. I'll do it. I'll try and remember next week. My buddy Nathan, who watches the show every now and then, he had given me his picks some weeks ago. And what's he got? So he's got I've got him right here. So he's picked the Bills, the Bengals, the Colts, and the Chargers. So and he's even gone into who's won the Super Bowl in overtime. So but yeah, so he's in agreement with us. I think maybe probably a lot of America is in agreement with us. If you're just looking at how the play from last year versus what they're doing so far in the off season. And but yeah, so any last thoughts for the week, man? You're in Vegas. You're going to see some sports stuff today. Drink some brews. I mean, having a good time, living the life, man.
Yeah, just happy to be here. Happy to have a fun weekend with my buddy from Washington down here, and look to see some good WNBA action. Sue Bird's final regular season game of her career, so that'll be fun. I don't know what they'll have going on there at the game to maybe celebrate that a little bit. But yeah, that'll be cool. And then hopefully we can at least get over to the Allegiant Stadium and check that out. And I'll try to get some pictures and put them up on our Twitter or anywhere else where you can find our show, and just have some content to put up on, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything you see going down at the bottom of the screen there where you can see our show. So try to get us some good sports picks today at Raider Stadium.
Yeah. Post those. It'll be a good time. Say hi to Robert for me. I'm surprised you didn't have him on today. And but anyway, have a blast, man. Miss you. Wish I was there with you. If it wasn't for just getting ready for Hawaii and everything, I'd be there with you. So
yeah.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your day. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the Football Beer. That's why we're here show. Enjoy the brews, and I'm got that one going. Now you can see the logo better, right?
Yeah.
Without the beer in the way. So, hey, everyone, have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you all next Sunday, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. All right, bye now.